What's up, Gotham City? It's the 82nd astronaut, along with my co-host Marco, for the first episode of Kicks and Comics, where not all superheroes wear capes, some wear Air Jordans. And that's exactly what this podcast is going to be about. Kicks, crepes, sneakers, whatever you like to call them, graphic novels, comics, shoes, and,
zapatos,
and everything that entails with that, be it pop culture, film, true crime. And you know what? I'm going to shoot my shot, or call my shot. We're going to have a celebrity interview or two on this thing. Just, keep an eye out for that. And even if it's just me.
It's a lot of pressure on my mom to get famous before we have her on.
Well, either that or I'm going to tackle Elijah Wood outside of that HEB. People will see him here in Austin. And that's where we're coming to you from, Austin, Texas.
You just gave it away. You said Gotham City. And
now, dang it.
No. It is what it is. We're going to find out eventually.
All right. So here we go. Thank you for downloading this thing and giving us 8 hours of your time.
We're going the full 8 this time.
We're going the full 8.
Oh man, buckle in. We've got a lot to cover.
So let's start with my mom.
You mean if we're gonna do 8 hours, then we actually have to probably record for 16.
Okay, because then
don't worry, we'll do a director's cut at some point and you get the whole unedited 16 hours of talking.
Yeah, and thanks, Nana, for downloading this podcast. Hopefully everyone at Elmcroft is doing well, and we're praying for Mr. Lee Baum's new hip. So thanks for that. So here we go, maiden journey. Marco, what is
what's up?
Yeah, what is up?
Nothing. The listeners obviously can't see, but I dressed very festive. You were in some ones today also, so awesome. But sticking with the theme, Kicks and Comics, I'm wearing the Spider-Man ones from Into the Spider-Verse. Nice. It was a birthday present I treated myself to because Spider-Man's my favorite superhero, and Jordan 1s are my favorite sneakers. So kind of a collab of the worlds, and needed to have them. And
also Spidey socks.
Wearing Spidey socks as well. Yeah. Shout out to Stance. If you want to send me some free socks, please do.
Ooh, I love Stance socks.
Yeah, they're great socks, really quality made. But yeah, that's what's going on right now.
This episode brought to you by Stance. Hopefully, guys.
We're gonna get a cease and desist real quick.
And I'm not wearing any comic related kicks, but I am wearing my Wonder Woman socks.
I see.
So shout out to Kohl's, I think is where I got these. This episode brought to you by Kohl's. You got two sponsors.
Two sponsors. There we go. Yeah.
That they don't know about.
They don't know about that. Yeah. They will shortly though. Always good. Shout out to iPhone. If you want to send me some free Apple products.
Steve Jobs, R.I.P.D.
Yeah. So. Joking aside, I guess we should kind of get into it, right? And talking about what drove us to do this. Maybe talk a little bit about our history. Obviously, we've known each other for a long time now.
Yes, sir.
Not quite diapers, but
close enough. I'm pretty sure I was crapping my pants at 4.
Yeah, I was still wetting the bed at 4, so it's fine.
There's the video of us that back when McDonald's used to have birthday parties.
Bring it back, McDonald's. Jesus, brought to you by McDonald's.
No, I don't want to be associated with, unless they want to. Yeah, you know what? This episode brought to you by McDonald's. Just put it in.
Oh no, but the good old days, yeah, when Ronald McDonald would come to your birthday party.
Yeah.
I think you had a birthday there. I had a birthday there. And then I had a birthday at Pizza Hut. You came to that as well.
Pizza. Oh yes.
Yeah, the Pizza Hut that was right across the street from our middle school.
Yep. Yeah. I remember that. I was in the Pizza Hut book club.
I had a friend post on Facebook about that, and I totally forgot about that thing. You read books and they give you a free pizza. So it was like, be smart but get fat.
Right.
That was their motto back in the day.
But it was a personal pizza, so I don't know. You'd have to read a lot of books to get fat. And
I mean, if you were reading books for pizza, you were probably reading a lot of books. So
you had other things you need to work through.
Yeah, true. But yeah, so we've known each other for 30 plus years now. Haven't stayed in contact that entire time, but reconnected recently, and for over a love of sneakers and comic books, and decided
I needed a kidney, so
yeah, thanks for that.
No, I needed it, so you gave.
Yeah, no, I know. Thanks for taking one.
Oh, okay.
it makes me feel like a good person inside.
If you ever need it back.
There's never a selfless act. I didn't do it out of the kindness of my heart. I did it because I wanted to feel good about myself. So.
And here we are, me hooked up to my dialysis machine.
Drinking alcohol.
Well, this episode brought to you by Jack Daniels. We're just, man, for it being our first episode and all the sponsors that we have, just thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking...
They're going to be thanking us when they send us requests for money for mentioning them without getting approval.
Taking a chance on two Asians in their podcast. So, what got you into sneakers?
The fact that my parents wouldn't buy them for me. I think honestly, we grew up in the era of Michael Jordan, obviously, and if we're being 100% honest, he's probably the first pro athlete that brought notoriety to the shoe game.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously there was a lot of athletes in the 70s and even in the 80s wearing Converse and other things, but Michael took the swoosh to a whole nother level. And
you had Larry Bird and I think Magic with the Pro Weapons, the Converse Pro Weapons.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, we're talking like Michael started wearing Nikes and then people started getting shot for their Nikes.
Right.
So nobody was killing anybody for a pair of Larry Birds.
True.
Which, if you really want to have shoe game and clout, it's when people murder other people for your shoe. Then you've made it.
That's when you've made it.
Yeah. So I think honestly, growing up watching Michael play, I'll be honest, a lot of it for me was just obviously bandwagon Bulls fan. Michael Jordan was the greatest basketball player, is the greatest basketball player of all time, arguably.
No argument.
No argument. In some circles, it would be argued. I do believe that he's the greatest basketball player of all time.
Yes.
This
episode is not brought to you by LeBron. Just putting it
Well, no, I love, what is it from Bad Teacher when Jason Segel gets in an argument with the kid about comparing LeBron and Michael Jordan. And he says, talk to me when LeBron has 6 rings. And, it's a valid point. I mean, the guy... If he made it to the finals, he won championships. And not to knock LeBron, he's made it to the finals several times, but he has not won every single finals he's ever made.
3 and 6. Just saying. 3 and 6. I'm keeping track.
But, I think I always loved basketball. I grew up playing baseball. Mm-hmm. But, basketball is one of those sports that you just... I'll be honest, I love playing baseball. I love going to live baseball events. But I can't really watch baseball during the regular season. It doesn't really get exciting until October. I root for my teams, but at the same time, basketball I feel like I could turn on and watch anytime, and sneakers are a big part of that. So I remember growing up and kind of being more into the sport, and then kind of getting into the sneakers. And junior high was probably when sneakers became really huge, because that's when you stop being an elementary school kid and you want everything everybody else has.
Pretty much.
And I remember my friends having way better shoes than I did, because their parents would buy them shoes every month, and my parents would buy me one pair of shoes in the fall.
Yep.
When we went back to school.
Yep.
And then buy me one pair of shoes in the springs to refresh my shoes from the fall.
Yep.
And usually I was getting whatever was on sale on the sneaker wall at Sears. So it wasn't until probably about 7th, 8th grade when my parents started caving in and just saying, quit bugging me, here's some pennies.
Right.
And that was probably the first shoe that really, really kind of attracted my attention.
Yeah, no, I remember that era.
Yep.
I think I always had those, the character, if Batman or whatever, I would always get those. And I don't know when the light kind of switched where I needed to have Nikes. Mm. I remember, of all the things, watching Jurassic Park and seeing this little kid in Nikes. I was like, well, I want Nikes now. But I remember getting... I think it was LA Gear that made the light 'em up shoes.
Yeah.
And I had
or was it the British Knights, the BK lights?
Oh.
LA Gear had the light up shoes too, but BK had the lights too.
I don't know. Whatever it was, I didn't get that. I got the knockoff brand. If there was LA Gear, I got the Sacramento Supply. I don't know. It was just a knockoff brand that maybe didn't even sparkle the same or whatever. But then I remember it was 7th grade getting, I didn't even know it was the first shoe that Penny wore. It was the Air Up or the Big Up. And then
the one with the one on the back, like on the tab.
No. It was before that one. It looked like
before he actually got a signature.
Yeah, it looked like the Shacknosis, not the Shacknosis, the Kamikazes. They're Reeboks, and it looked just like that. And maybe we'll put a link in the show notes for what it looked like. But not even knowing, I was wearing a penny shoe, and then I think it was in 7th or 8th grade where both of us, or all three of us, shout out to Jonathan Russell,
JR,
who got us in, who was the first person we remember wearing the Concords. And
yeah, his mom bought him everything.
Yeah, him and Avery, he had every shoe.
And
shout out to Avery.
Every windsuit to match his shoe.
Pretty much. Which, as a 7th grader, that messes with your head because you're like, well, obviously my parents don't love me enough to have me looking like a Jersey Shore mafioso with the matching tracksuit and the shoes. But yeah, I got the Penny 2 in 8th grade, I think.
I think so. You know what? Honestly, I think the Penny 2 might have been the second player shoe I had because I think I don't know if you got them, but I think 7th grade was actually Grant Hill Fila.
You're right. You're right.
And everybody had the white with the blue patent leather. Mm-hmm. That was like the first one that came out. And I was going to be cool and got the second one that came out. And that was the blue with the white patent leather. It was ugly as sin. It was the grossest shoe. And I look back on that shoe, and Fila just in general was such a chunky shoe.
Right. It was a snow boot.
But these were the days when you're wearing jorts and chunky shoes and it looked fine. So, but yeah, I think that was the first player shoe. And then Penny 2 was 8th grade. I remember being so excited, and you guys bagged on me so hard because... God, this is embarrassing. I shouldn't even tell this story now. I'm embarrassed as a mid-30s-year-old man.
That's all right.
But I remember going with my dad the day that they were dropping. It was before school. Mm-hmm. And waiting outside finish line for it to open and going in and getting them. But then my dad was like, well, this is your Christmas present. You can't wear them yet. So what did I do? I brought the receipt for my shoe to school to prove that I got the shoe. It was like, I got the shoe. Here's my receipt.
I don't even remember that.
Thank God. But you guys made me feel like an awful human being. So shout out to you guys for making me, feel terrible.
Well, we were all little craps back in the day.
We were jerks.
I apologize to anyone in advance I just apologize for everything that I've ever said prior to this podcast.
You're hoping somebody's doing Billy Madison style.
Yeah,
just scratching your name off. They don't even know because you're not using your real name. So
well, true, and I never will. Unless, JB Jordan Brand wants to send me some shoes, then I will drop my full address right here, right now.
Yeah, 82nd, is he can't run for office if anybody finds out who he is. So
right,
but that was. But I remember that it was all keeping up with the Joneses at that time, and
with money that we didn't have. We were playing with our parents' money.
Absolutely. But when you're a kid though, you don't think of it in terms of that. You just think you're my parent. You should buy this for me.
Right. Yeah.
Plain and simple. I mean, and kids feel that way now. But now kids are saying, "Oh, you don't want to buy it for me? I'll just become famous on Instagram and buy my own shit."
Right, and that's the difference. We had no outlet to, getting money. Outside of mowing lawns.
Shifting, we'll get back. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sway too much, but you saw the IG meme accounts that got canceled like 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago.
No, not at all.
So a bunch of meme accounts got canceled, and there was kids that 17-year-old kids that their account got canceled, and they had monetized it. And there was a kid that was I was making $20,000 a month. Wow. And IG took this from me, and I'm 17. It's why the hell were we not born in this era where we can make $20,000 a month at 17 off Instagram? We didn't even have cell phones when, barely were getting cell phones at 17, and ours had Snake on them. They were analog. Nibbles. Yeah, we couldn't actually use our phones to look stuff up on the internet. But
wow. I don't know. I think if I was born in this era, I'd have a coke habit. Just at 8 years old.
Bigger than the one you already currently have?
Huge. Oh, okay. I mean, right now, I'm hoping this will supplement.
Yeah. For sure.
Some of that habit. No, I smoke mine. Crack rocks.
Totally kidding.
This episode sponsored by the Inner City. I don't know.
But yeah, it's shifting back. That's kind of our sneaker journey, at least in junior high. And then I don't know how you were in high school. Like you went to a different high school than I went to. And,
right.
I think I got more into sneakers, but not really like, I guess like basketball shoes. It became like, I think high school for us, our era was like running shoes. Like everybody was getting like the new Air Maxes and stuff like that.
Right. Which I feel that in like, and to kind of like timestamp what we're talking about we were in middle school, like
mid-90s.
Yeah.
And
97 to 90, what, 93? Or whatever it is, 3 years.
94, 97. And
yeah.
Started high school late 90s, graduated early 2000s.
Right.
But that was that kind of shift where I embarrassingly enough, shifted out of junior high wearing Jinkos. God bless them.
This episode's not about Jinkos.
What are you talking about? If they're still around, send me some free Jinkos. No, but shifted out and then got into more of the preppy phase because I was playing baseball in high school as well, and
right.
It was more about Old Navy and Abercrombie and wearing Air Maxes. And then I actually worked at Finish Line my junior summer going into my senior year, and basically spent every single one of my paychecks on new shoes.
Now, a little, just for my own edification, why do they write numbers on the boxes? Are you meeting a quota? Do you get like a commission? No one would ever give me a solid answer.
You don't get a commission. I mean, God, I still remember this. You write your number on it because you have a sales goal.
Okay.
And it's kind of how they reviewed you, but you got nothing in terms of like a bonus for selling extra shoes. I actually worked on the women's wall, which, I actually had sold more shoes than guys sold on the guys' wall.
Right.
Because it was just easier to sell shoes to girls for some reason.
I wouldn't know. I haven't
dated one of the cashiers there, so I got hooked up on the accessories because you were supposed to tie shoes to like socks and shoelaces. This was back in the day when you bought a black and green pair of shoes, so you needed the black and green speckled shoelaces to go with your shoes, which nobody does that anymore, but bring back the speckled shoelaces. But yeah, no, you write your number on the box so that when the cashier's checking them out, they know who helped them, and it just went towards your sales goal.
Yeah, no one ever gave me a solid answer about that, and I had friends that worked at Foot Locker and Finish Line, and 2019 is when I finally put that to bed. Like, no commissions. It was just them.
I mean, back then, I don't know about now, but yeah, back then there was absolutely no commission.
Right.
I'll probably find out that was all a lie, and I was just getting cheated out of my commissions.
Pretty much
every month.
Like somebody was
banking on it. My manager was like, "Oh, sweet, Marco keeps selling those shoes."
But I remember Air Maxes being kind of a big thing when we were in middle school. I don't remember obviously the years we were in it, but Air Maxes were big. But in terms of me and my whole high school journey, I didn't have any Jordans in middle school. Like, it just wasn't a thing that my parents were going to even abide by. It wasn't until freshman year of high school where the I lie. It was summer of 97. I got the Jumpman Pros, the black and gold ones. This was back when JB just first started their non-numbered line. And I had the black and gold ones. I was like, I'm king crap. Got my first Jordans, walked into LBJ, and I got the reputation of that, of just being like the Jordan kid. Because the next ones I got was the 13s, and then I think from the 13 to probably the 17s is where I ended it. But there was a brief break because I got the Air Pippin 2s.
I got the Pippins.
You got the
Up-tempos.
The Up-tempos.
8th grade.
Right.
Right when we were, like, getting out of 8th grade. I remember I got those, like, a couple days before we...
The white ones.
Now people graduate from 8th grade. We didn't graduate from 8th grade. We just went to high school.
Right.
But...
People graduate from kindergarten. Like, come on. What are we doing here?
We got to celebrate all their achievements.
I guess, if you set the bar that low.
I mean, you've got kids, so you're going to have to celebrate all those achievements.
I guess.
You're going to be like, no.
No, I'm going to be like, come on. What, you want a cookie? Like...
Are you coming to my graduation, Daddy? Nope.
Yes, in 18 years. Not to this one.
No, but yeah, like I was so mad at my mom too because I really liked those Pippins.
Right.
And
they're nice.
I think my foot hadn't grown too much. I think I actually had a 10.5 in those, which I'm an 11 now. So my foot didn't grow that much when I was in high school. I had a big foot for a 5'7" 8th grader. And then I
Or you're
sprouted like
pushing.
4 or 5 more inches.
Yeah.
And then my foot only grew like, half an inch. But I remember like wearing them and then just putting them in a closet and being like, eh. And then like, I think like 11th grade, I was like, where are my Pippins? Those were dope shoes. And my mom was like, oh yeah, I sold those at a garage sale. And I was like, what? I was so mad.
Ooh.
It was just like, oh, thanks. Because I kept those clean too. Like, I didn't even trash those out. Like, my pennies, I trashed out.
Right.
My pennies were just disgusting by the end. But those Pippins were still really nice. I'm super mad. Mom, if you're listening to this, which you better be listening to this, I hate you. Not really. I love you. I love you. You're great. Get famous so we can have you on the show, and then we have a celebrity guest.
Yeah. Or second one. Maybe third. But with those Pippins, you kind of had to keep them clean because I remember they were all red. No, they were all
Mine
white.
were all white. Yeah.
They were all white.
The first ones that came out were the black ones with
Right.
the red, but the white ones were just so clean looking.
I remember just walking down the hall, and it was the end of the year, and seeing you with new shoes, and I was like, it's the end of the school year, and he got new shoes, but...
You know why? You know why I got new shoes? Because my parents got divorced.
Oh.
They didn't get divorced that year. They had actually divorced, but it was way easier to get new crap after my parents got divorced because just guilt the crap out of them. Which I don't condone that by any means. I look back on it and I wish I hadn't done that. But yeah, I got new stuff because of that, and I'm not proud of it, but I was then. So, but yeah. That was the Pippins, but I didn't actually have any Jordans in high school. I got Jordans my senior year. I got because they re-released the 11s, the patent leather 11s, but they re-released the white, the all white, the Carolina blue. Right. And Ricky Moore, actually, shout out to Ricky Moore, was working at Active Athlete, I think, and he actually got those for me. Funnily enough, Ricky dated Celeste when we were in junior high, and then I dated her in high school, and she actually paid for those for me. She bought those for me, and yeah, Ricky's ex-girlfriend, my girlfriend, paid him to give me shoes.
Okay,
which is weird.
Well,
I mean, there was a giant pile of shit in the shoe when he gave it to me.
Right, as one.
And pretty solid though, so it didn't really mess it up that much.
He was not big on fiber, from what I remember.
No, but yeah, that was my first pair of Jordans in high school. Which they're probably, like, in all honesty, I have no hate for them, but they're just, those ones specifically are so hard to wear. The all white patent leather ones.
Well, they turn yellow like really.
They turn yellow, but they also it's really hard to wear an all white patent leather shoe.
Yeah.
I mean, even the Concords. Yeah.
Right.
If you're a pimp, then yeah, it's not a problem at all.
No.
That's why they made the, alligator skin 11s, for pimps specifically. You know.
This episode not brought to you by pimps. We are anti-pimp. We're anti-pimp.
But I mean, maybe this episode brought to you by Johnson & Johnson's baby powder.
Maybe. To keep it right.
Gotta keep that hand strong.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, no, that was.
We don't condone violence.
Against women specifically, we do not. But
no.
Against another guy, that's fine.
Right, especially if he has a weak shoe game.
But yeah, no, that was probably I was actually probably my first pair. Well, I had so I get what you're saying, Jumpman Pro, non-numbered Jordan.
Right.
But I'll be honest, like, when I see somebody go, oh, I got a brand new pair of Jordans, and it's a non-numbered pair of Jordans, I mean, I don't consider that a Jordan.
Right. And 2019, I totally agree with you.
I got a brand new pair of Jordans. Those are Chris Paul's.
Yeah, those are like Trunners. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I got a new pair of Jordans. Those are Blake Griffin's.
Did he have? Yeah, he had some.
I got a new pair of Jordans. Those are Carmelo Anthony's, and they're ugly.
Right. And they have that, like, tramp stamp tattoo on
that's what I was telling you earlier in the week. Like, God bless him. Zion's going to be huge, but I don't like that he signed with Jordan Brand.
I don't know. Like,
he's going to be huge until he, like...
If he keeps eating that way, yes. I kind of think he's going to be a bust.
I don't think he's going to be a bust. I think he's going to be a solid NBA player. I don't know that he'll be what everybody's saying he's going to be about the new LeBron or whatever. But, like, he will be a good NBA player. I don't like that he signed with Jordan Brand because if they give him his own signature shoe,
right?
I mean, I guess maybe he'll be like what they're trying to do with Kawhi.
Oh, New Balance?
He who shall not be named. No, like, just put him in whatever the new number is. Like, they never made a Kawhi signature. They just had him be the new numbered. Like, Russell Westbrook was the new numbered one for a little bit. Now he has his own.
Why not? It's like...
But even then, like, same thing. Like, it's just... to me, Jordan brand is Jordan. And when you give a signature shoe to, like, Chris Paul or Russell Westbrook or, these guys, it's like, well... It's a Jordan shoe, but it's a Chris Paul. Like, that, to me, I would want to sign with Li Ning or whatever and get my own signature,
Well, stories have it that he turned a lot of money down from Puma. But, I mean, nobody...
Well, no, they said he turned money down from Puma. Li Ning also. They said some of those Chinese manufacturers offered him deals too, but everybody thinks that he went the smart route and signed with Jordan because it's not technically Nike. Everybody was like, oh, he can't sign with Nike because he blew out that Paul George.
Right, it's Nike.
But yeah, Jordan is still Nike. Subsidiary of.
Some of those leanings are cold. I think...
I like the way it went. I wish you could find them over here in the States, but you can't.
Right.
So I guess maybe we take a trip to China and do a podcast from over there.
Right, as soon as that Jack Daniels money, comes on through. But I think I wish Zion all the best. I just think J.A. Morant's going to do a lot better.
Ja Morant?
I call him J.A.
J.A.
For me,
his close friends call him J.A.
Yeah, J.A.
You know what? I'm really happy that you said I wish Zion all the best because he's going to be listening to this and then he's going to feel better about it.
No, I hope but I just, those big guys, it's just, and then he busts out of those shoes, and I don't know.
I think, honestly, he's upset because originally he was going to, since he was joining the Pelicans with Lonzo, he was going to go Big Baller Brand, but then Big Baller Brand caved.
Right. They tried to sell me a shirt here in Austin at a street corner. I was like, $250, can you come down to $1? And they didn't, so Big Baller Brand, I'm sorry. I just couldn't. Yeah, I didn't have, 8 quarters on
Well, you're not a big baller, obviously.
Right.
Oh, man, that was awful. I wonder who Zoe's going to sign with, though. Like, obviously, probably Nike, but...
Who? Oh, yeah, Lonzo. No, because he was wearing Concords in his...
Yeah, he's been wearing nothing but Nike recently. And I loved when he first came in and they were like, he's going to go do his own shoe thing. It's going to be Big Baller Brand. And then, like, during the preseason, he was wearing... Like, they had already shown his shoe. They had already said this is going to be his shoe. And then he was wearing anything but Big Baller Brand.
That Fugazi Kobe that he was wearing?
He was wearing Kobe's. He was wearing... I think he wore some KDs at one point. Like, it was just like, oh, all right, well, cool. I guess... No, we're getting the shoe just right. It's like... Yeah. I mean, all right, cool.
No,
it's like, you know what it was is that he hadn't signed the contract and actually gotten any money yet, so he couldn't even afford his own Big Baller Brand shoes yet.
Oh, geez.
$495.
Right. Were they I thought they were like
when they
6.
first dropped, they were like, I think no, they had them for $495. Then I think they had maybe the $600 pack, and I could be wrong. And if you guys are listening, be like, oh, this guy's totally wrong.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Don't
whatever. You can fact check me and send me an email later. It's at idon'tgiveawhatever.com. But
Nana, don't add us, please, Mr. Lebaum. Just please don't.
But no, they had the autograph pack where it was like more expensive because he would autograph the shoe for you. Yeah. And they were selling like hotcakes because they're making so much money. It's like, come on, they sold probably like 100 pairs of those.
Well, and I think the game brought like 50 of those pairs because he's like, and I get it, small entrepreneurial.
I mean, I have no hate about trying to branch out into your own thing.
Not at all.
Stephon Marbury went out and created Starberry overseas, and that's very successful. Yeah, that's very successful overseas.
I almost bought a pair.
I don't like the way his dad went about it. Like
Stephon Marbury's dad.
No.
I don't think he knows who his dad is. I'm sorry, Stephon.
That was hurtful right there. Teardrop. No, Lonzo Ball's dad, LeVar. I just don't. He just went the wrong way. Like, he could have gone a different route with that. And in all honesty, he set his son back a few years in terms of the way he was handling him.
Well, both of them outside of Lonzo. Lonzo at least is in the NBA. The other two, like Lemon Jello and Orangelo, like, I don't know, they're
Angelo and LaMelo.
They sound like Jello, like off-brand Jello flavors.
No, LiAngelo is he's not ever. Well, I mean, I won't say ever, but his
again
future in the NBA is probably unlikely. LaMelo's got a shot still, but I mean he's not eligible until next year because of the whole was he a pro, was he not, and then he went back to high school, and it's like that's a joke. Oh, well, he never took any money. Oh, okay, sure.
And Kicks and Comics wishes all these guys the best. We're just
no hate. I'm just saying, like I said, I don't
except
fault anybody. Like a lot of people came out in support of it and said no, good for them for going their own route, but he just kind of. He got too big for his own britches, and unfortunately, now Lonzo's got control, and he's saying, no, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do me, and good for him, but, LeVar kind of set him back a little bit, and, I mean, there's nothing wrong, like, you can tell one thing, like, he definitely believes in his kids, and he loves them, and that's great.
Yeah, Dad.
Oh, man. We're getting into father issues episode 4, okay? Let's
not episode 1, all right.
But yeah, so
it's coming episode 3.
Anyway, I think we've talked about NBA players and shoes a little bit too much, but we can kind of shift back.
We were
kind of talking about just like getting sneakers in high school and stuff like that, and I don't know how it was for you. Like, truthfully, in my 20s, I kind of just really wasn't paying that much attention.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think sorry to mom and dad who are probably going to listen. When I started to pay for my own sneakers, my Jordan addiction got way less. I remember buying some Fat Farms. Shout out to Russell Simmons. Those knockoff Adidas-looking shell toe shoes. I went through a whole phase of just... And I remember one time all my high school buddies in college, they were just like, why are you not wearing Jordans? And I'm like, well, because I have to pay for them now. And not to say that I always got Jordans, but... Or, like, the frequency was either birthday or Christmas, and then the I guess, the spring of next year. It was 2 a year.
Yeah.
And then I would just blow them out. And it was just one of those things where when I started to pay for them, it just became like, oh, well, I'll get the Air Max 90 whatever that are on sale, 2 seasons out. And it was just that. Like, I had to pay for them. My Kickshin kind of went away in college for various reasons. Obviously, books and tuition, and I was paying for my own stuff. I was still getting Jordans here and there, but it was the retro game wasn't like it was now, or even like general releases.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I think the 18s came out, the blue ones with the like new with the brush and all that. You can get them easily, mainly because like the online like marketplace wasn't so prevalent. You had to get up off your ass and go to the store. Or like I remember getting the 20s out of a Best Buy parking lot, because it was one of those things where like I knew a guy who could get me like them for, they fell off a truck or something. So that's how I got them. And I think the statute of limitations is probably
not on that.
Oh jeez,
the FBI is coming knocking on your door. No, you're right. Like I mean, to your point though, it's like priorities shift a little bit. Once you're paying for your own stuff, your parents give you that whole, you're an adult now, you have a job, pay for your own crap. Your money becomes a little bit more tight.
Right.
And I mean, I remember in my 20s.
And I didn't have a YouTube channel.
Exactly.
2000.
We weren't just getting free stuff also. So, but yeah, no, and it becomes like, I remember working full time in my 20s, and it was, but at that time it was like, oh, well, if I want to live on my own, or if I want to, like, I'm living paycheck to paycheck because I'm just trying to make ends meet and I want to be my own man. And it's like, I couldn't just go buy Jordans just because I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say my late 20s, when I started making more money, you get a little bit more successful. I not thankfully, but I don't have any other responsibilities now also other than myself and my dog. And his shoe game is weak, so
I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to.
No, he knows it.
I don't put him on blast like that.
Yeah, I put him on blast for everything.
Okay.
But, it was one of those things where I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna start buying shoes that I wanted when I was younger, and I started like I bought. I think honestly, I was living in Lubbock. And I kind of started getting back in the sneaker game, and I bought the Olympic more up tempos.
Yes.
Because I really was like into that shoe, and I was like, oh, I gotta have this shoe. And then I got it, and I was like, oh, I didn't remember it being this chunky. But they're still dope shoes. But I was just like, dang, this shoe's so fat on my foot. But I remember that, and then I got the military blue 4s, and then I honestly just started to spiral and was buying shoes like every week. And I'll be honest, I've resold a lot of stuff over the years because
Definitely.
my closet would be I would need more space than I currently have if I kept all the shoes that I've ever bought. So,
do you remember that guy Patrick? I think you knew him.
Patrick Garcia?
Maybe. But he was also another guy that always had... I remember him having the Olympic 8s, but when the Olympic 8s came out, I remember I had to beg, borrow, and steal to get the Air Much up-tempos. Like, the basic... It was... And I remember getting them at an Academy. Shout out to Academy if they want to sponsor this podcast. And it was like the Academy... You know, we lived in South Austin, and we had to go to, like... I called... Back when you had to call stores to see what they had... And then I remember calling Academy off McNeil or something like that. And then having the shoe, and then me having to finagle all the time knowing the clock is ticking on these shoes. Because back in the day, and even now, no one holds shoes for you.
Yeah.
But getting those, and then there was a stripped down model. But then just, those are my coveted shoes for, I think it was maybe eighth grade.
When did Academy stop carrying those types of shoes, though? Because now it's like the only thing you can really get at Academy is like Ultra Boost. Maybe. And then all of like the off-brand, not off-brand, but like the player or like popular like Nikes and other things. Like, I mean, if you
I don't know.
You still want some like old school Reeboks with the crepe sole, like you can definitely get those at Academy. But
I remember getting the Fila's, the Grant Hill 2s.
Yeah, they used to have those. They would put them on the little security wire, and you could just like, and then But I think maybe because you know how they do their box stock where everything's just out on the shelves,
right?
Like, that's probably why they don't do it anymore because they don't want people like. I've gone to Academy so many times, and like I've seen people walking out that, not to presuming to judge, but looked homeless. But then you look at their feet and they're like in brand new shoes, and it's like, that dude just went and dumped his nasty ass shoes in there and just walked out with a fresh pair of shoes because they don't have any real security measures. So
I've never even
probably
thought of doing that. Yeah,
you've never done that?
No.
Yeah, me neither. I've never done that either.
I'm not in Austin.
But yeah, no, like I remember that. I remember because I remember getting the flyers on the weekends.
Yes,
and you would see the Academy flyer and be like, they have these shoes and. Half the time, you would go because like you wouldn't call beforehand, and then you get there and be like, they don't have it anymore. That flyer, and I remember getting the Oshman's flyer. Shout out to Oshman's, no longer exists.
Dude,
going and playing basketball in the North Cross Mall
and skiing. That ski slope.
If you wanted to try out the driving range, you could do that, and then maybe go figure skating if you wanted to.
And there's a Walmart there. How sad is that?
Yeah, when a mall has a Walmart, but.
I don't know. I think it is. It's just a Walmart.
Oh, it's just a Walmart now. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
which is a skating rink.
It's crazy that it's there. You would think they would have knocked it down and built some kind of luxury apartments, especially since that area is. Yeah,
it's coming.
But no, I remember that. I remember. I mean, it was one of those things where you'd look through and be like, I really want these, and then you'd like convince your parents to go for some other reason, just thinking I'm gonna trick them into buying these shoes for me. And then they didn't have them anyway.
Yeah, they did.
So it was like whatever.
I remember. East Bay, which I still buy from East Bay, but those catalogs...
I don't. You know why? Because they don't double box. Like, I bought my up-tempos from East Bay.
Right.
And they sent them to me in a bag, and the box was just beat to shit. So, not shout out to East Bay. I don't want your sponsorship money. Unless you start double boxing.
No, I bought like a pair of 33s from them lately, and they double... I mean, they don't double... Well, yeah, I guess it's a double box. They put...
A shoe box inside of what double boxing is.
Okay, like I
I got 2 boxes. It could have been they just ran out of boxes and they just decided to send it in a bag.
This dirty Mexican.
They're like, this is going to Lubbock, Texas. Screw it. Nobody in West Texas cares. But yeah,
I guess if you want to go down that rabbit hole,
I'll be honest. I think I even have a picture of this damaged box on my IG. I'm gonna scroll through and look now.
Try to put that in the show notes. What are your thoughts on like a mint box? For me, it doesn't really matter, just because it's not like, and we'll get into collectibles probably later in the show, like not this show but later shows. It's not like collectibles where you need a mint on card figure or a polybagged graphic novel comic book. For me, it's a shoebox. Unless I'm going to resell it, but then even if it's eBay or whatever, I'll just be like, hey.
So I've been on this kick of just wearing the crap out of my shoes lately.
Right.
Because I've gotten tired of, like, I have all these shoes in my closet, and I wear the same 2 pairs of shoes, like, every other day.
Well, we're old men.
Yeah, you get older, and it's just like, I don't want to tie anything. Slip-ons are easier.
I like my Skechers.
No, I can't. I'm not agreeing with that one. Not Joe Montana yet.
Shout out Skechers.
No, so I've been more on a kick of wearing my shoes, and rock don't stock, unds.
Yeah,
you know, what's the point in buying them if you're not going to wear them?
To a point.
So because of that, I've gotten to the point where I'm just kind of like, I have all these shoe boxes, and I'm just like, yeah, and for you have a house where you're gonna probably be for a while. Like, you may upgrade your home later, when your kids get older and they're bigger and you need more space. But right now, you don't really have to worry about moving. I live in an apartment where, I'm probably gonna be here for another year, but next year I may not be. And the last thing I want to do is be lugging around a bunch of shoe boxes. Granted, it does make packing them a little bit easier.
Right.
So I don't throw all of my boxes away.
Mm-hmm.
I keep boxes for shoes that I want to try and keep a little bit cleaner, nicer. Okay. Like, I have the box for these. Mm-hmm. But yeah, to me it is just a shoebox. Since I'm not planning on reselling any of these. Like, I don't care. Okay. But the only box that I have that I'm like, I'm gonna keep this because it's nice is I got the Green Lobster SB Dunks. Ooh, and nice. I got the Concepts one, and it came in that nice, like, black tote that looks like it's in a box of ice. Right. So I'll keep that, hang on to that, because that is kind of a little bit of a collectible, and even though I've worn those, to me, it still adds a little bit more value to the shoe if I ever decided I wanted to do something with it. But yeah, shoe boxes are just...
So why are you being such a diva about the bag from East Bay? Shout out East Bay.
Because when I first got back into collecting back then, we're talking about this is like 8 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Like, I got the box and I was like, what the hell? Like, this is trash. Like, I'm looking right now. I'm barely in 2014, so I've got a little bit to go.
No, it's okay.
I'll find it.
Well, I guess we were talking about... Well, we went on the box tangent. Oh, but I was talking about East Bay, the catalog, where back in the day, that was just like, and I talked to my my wife about this, where if you had the new East Bay, it's like you had the new, like, I don't even know what the equivalent would be now. I don't even know, but it'd be like, okay, who got the East Bay? Who got the East Bay? And you would bring it, and we would just like, for shoe kids, it was shoe porn. It was like the newest Playboy, like, oh snap, they got the French Blue 13s or whatever. And then getting to a point where back when we were in middle school, not having the money, because back in the day, East Bay, you had to buy stuff to keep getting their catalog. Mm-hmm. And then I remember, like, begging my parents to be like, buy me a penny hat because I need to keep getting the East Bay catalog.
I keep getting this catalog.
And it was I don't know, it was for me, it was the feeling of Christmas, like getting that new crisp East Bay in the mail. And like I said, to this day, I still order from East Bay. I think I got my Air Jordan 33s from there probably like a couple months ago. And I don't know. I'm glad they're still kicking. It's an old school. I wouldn't say old school business model, but they still do. Maybe they were ahead of their time because they didn't have a store. So now they're keeping up with, the Amazons and
I didn't even know they were. I mean, but because East Bay, Champs, and Foot Locker, like, all the same company.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure it's all the same company because, like, anytime
you go online,
the websites look all exactly the same, and then basically, like, if one's out of stock, then they're all out of stock. But like, I get what you're saying, and yes, East Bay was, like, it was huge. I had the catalogs also, and, it was like, oh, I got it. And then when you stopped getting them, you're like, oh, I'm a loser. I didn't buy anything. I don't get them anymore. There was another catalog that was, like, for, like, comics and action figures and stuff like that. I can't remember what that was, because I used to get that. No, it wasn't called Previews.
It wasn't Previews.
No, I forget what it was, but I remember we used to get it. It was, like, elementary and junior high. And it was like looking through it, it was like all mainly collectibles and stuff like that. I can't remember what the name of that damn.
It wasn't Scholastic, was it?
No, God no.
That was another Christmas in July, whenever Scholastic came around, because you'd get that little like copy. Not carbon paper catalog, and it was just the smell of things. Like, I'm such a I don't even know if this is like a smellophile.
Yeah,
like
it makes me feel like you like book fair when you fill out what you wanted before
Right.
you go to the book fair.
And you had $6 and you had this big swinging penis on campus.
yeah.
You're like, I got $6 and that will give me
pencils and erasers and all these books and bookmarks and get these books that you never read and it's just like, all right, cool.
Except for Goosebumps. And then like
Man, I could read me a Goosebumps in like one day, bro. Like,
what was it?
get that Goosebumps book, lay down on the bed, and I was done.
Yeah. Shout out
to Goosebumps if you
R.L. Stein. You know, if you're but they just made the movie. But
I thought I posted the box. I guess I didn't, but that's when I got them. That was Jesus, man.
Oh.
That was July 17th, 2012.
You had an IG since then?
Yeah, bro.
When did IG come out?
I guess. Well, my first IG post was May 13th, 2012.
Oh, jeez.
But I'm sure it probably came out around then, 2011, 2012.
All right.
I mean, I know I wasn't an early adopter. I got it because I couldn't get just my name as my handle. So,
to want to marry. Yeah.
I went down memory lane here, looking at some shoes. Had some Air Max 90s and nice little baby blue. My dad actually has those now. I don't wear them anymore.
Nice.
And shoes that I don't wear. My dad's just like, are you going to do anything with these? I'm like, nah, man. If you want to be 70 and have fire shoe game,
right.
all for it.
No,
So-
like, I plan to be 70 and rocking Air Jordans. And that's another thing that, I know we're, like, hitting all these tangents, but it wasn't until maybe 3 or 4 years ago where I was at work one day, and one of my coworkers came up to me and said, like, hey, you playing a basketball game later? Like, in a derisive tone, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Because you were wearing basketball
Yeah, I was wearing basketball sneakers. I'm like, no, I've been wearing basketball sneakers and I guess back, it was like a casual Friday, so obviously I was wearing dress shoes the entire week. And I came, and I remember what shoes they were. It was the Air Jordan 12.5s. They weren't, they were numbered. It was like one of those hybrid, joints, which...
Not a Jordan!
Not a Jordan according to you, but I love all that crap.
No, I know.
That I remember getting the Dub Zeros. I love the Dub Zeros.
So says the guy who's returning the 11 IEs, so...
But that one came out, and Jordan, I think, wore that to a parade or something, so it kind of counts.
He wore it one time when he took a dump,
Yeah.
so yeah, it counts.
It counts.
No, I get what you're saying. Did you look down and see what that guy was wearing on his feet?
No, it was a girl.
Oh, okay,
So-
it's a girl, never mind. Okay.
And I was like, I was genuinely embarrassed.
So you reached back, but then you're like, oh, I can't hit you.
Yeah, we don't condone violence against women. But yeah, I didn't know that was a thing where you couldn't wear basketball sneakers all the time, because back when we were younger, taking it back to that, once you got sneakers, that was your shoe.
Yep.
That was your church shoe, that was your basketball shoe, that was your Algebra 2 shoe, and you just wore that. You wore it to funerals, to, sweet 16s, bar mitzvahs, whatever. And I've never gotten out of that mentality.
Did you go to any bar mitzvahs when you were younger?
5.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, I wasn't invited to any of them, but I went. I love a good matzo ball.
Hey, man.
Shout out to our Jewish friends, our
Yep.
listeners. But yeah, I didn't realize. And what are your thoughts on that? Are you okay with? And even then, in my current job, because I have this dude that has a fire sneaker game. He wore some Fear of Gods the other day, and then he comes up to me being like, "Oh, well, these are hard to get." I'm like, I know what those are.
Is he younger?
No, he's like probably I want to say our parents' age.
Oh, wow.
But he's older.
He's in his 60s.
Probably.
And he's wearing Fear of Gods.
Fear of Gods. And
respect, dude.
Yeah, it was the Fear
my
of
spirit
God
animal.
air raids or something like that. And then he tries to come up to me like, well, these are hard to get. I'm like, I know what those are. They're not that hard to get. But I get it.
Yeah.
But he was wearing, and I guess, like, it's going to my question, what are your thoughts on that?
On wearing shoes that...
Like basketball shoes as, like...
Here's the thing. The reason I love ones is because ones are super versatile. You can wear these, and I don't feel like people are going to walk up to you and say, "Oh, are you playing in a basketball game later?" Because these are just a common shoe. Like, in all honesty,
Right.
you put some jeans on, and it just looks like a normal Nike. I mean, they're skateboard shoes almost as well. Anyway,
Yeah.
the Dunks are basically these. But I can see maybe if I was wearing the more up tempos,
right.
Yes, some people might be like, why is that guy wearing those huge basketball shoes? I mean, they're chunky shoes. But at the end of the day, I wear shoes for me, so I could care less if you think, oh, that's a basketball shoe. Why are you wearing a basketball shoe? But also now, let's just be honest, hipster culture and, all of these young kids that are wearing things ironically.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to ACL a couple years ago, and it's probably still prevalent now. But it's like all these kids are wearing like basketball jerseys of people they never saw play basketball,
right?
Because it's ironic. So they're wearing these types of shoes as well because they're like, oh, this was cool in the '90s or this was cool in the '80s, and it's like you don't even have an appreciation for what it actually was.
Shout out to Mookie Blaylock.
Yeah, yeah. So 100%. You know, you see a Blaylock jersey, and you're like, do you even know who that is?
Right.
No, I just like the name.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, cool.
I like saying
cool,
Mookie.
Bro. You know, like, you know, seeing
Stacey Ogman.
Seeing, like, you know, a 18-year-old kid wear a Space Jam jersey, and it's like,
right.
You didn't even see Space Jam when it came out. Like, I went and was in the theater, like, watching it. I got the Space Jam stuffed animals from McDonald's.
I may have cried.
In my Happy Meal.
Yes.
It was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I'm not okay with them making a sequel.
No, not at all.
Or whatever they're calling this.
It's a soft reboot.
Is it soft reboot?
I don't know.
So how are they going to do that? You think Savannah's going to be okay with LeBron having an actress wife? And Michael Jordan, I mean, Juanita wasn't his wife in Space Jam.
It was Teresa Randall, which at the time, like, I think she was fresh off Girl 6 or something like that. But I was like, wow.
But it's like, you know, like, that's the other thing that's funny to me is because, like, now, because athletes with Instagram and all this other stuff, we know more about their lives. Like,
too much.
I didn't know anything about Michael Jordan's wife or his kids or anything like that.
No.
So I legitimately thought those were his kids.
Yes.
In the movie.
Yep.
I was 100%. Like, oh, sweet, he got his kids in the movie. And it was like, nope, all little actors.
I honestly thought Teresa Randall was also voicing Lola Bunny. Like, I don't know why I thought that, but it was just like, oh, she's the wife.
Adorable.
And Lola Bunny. But yeah, then later to find out that Michael Jordan's a huge a-hole. But, you know, it's just, you have to have that winning drive. I understand.
Swag.
I never want to meet him because I know I'll be completely and utterly
never meet your heroes.
Never meet your heroes.
Never meet your heroes.
No.
But yeah, to answer your question more fully, though, it's like, to me, it's, especially the job I have, I can wear whatever I want. And everybody's been commenting lately, like, oh, new pair of shoes.
All right.
Like, no, they're not new. They've been sitting in a closet for like the last 10 years. But, you know.
Has any of yours fallen apart on you? Because I'm noticing a lot of mine are.
I have some 4s. Like, I bought the Bread 4s when they came out in 2012. And
the one with the Mars Blackman?
No, just the black and red Bread 4s.
Okay.
When they re-released them in 2012.
Oh, no.
They had the military blues.
Right.
And then they had the Bread 4s. Those came out in 2012. And I bought those. And I recently wore, I think, the Breads, which I re-upped on them because the Nike Air ones just dropped. And the ones I bought in 2012 didn't have the Nike Air on the back. Call me a snob, whatever.
No. They need to have the Nike Air.
So, but I recently wore the ones without the Nike Air, and they started to crack on me. And I was like, oh, this shoe's going to disintegrate if I wear it anymore. So, but then it's like, I don't know what to do. I mean, I guess I could do a sole swap, but I mean, I'm not that invested in it, especially now that I have the Nike Air one.
Right.
So it's just kind of like, I don't really care. It's going to sit in a box, and maybe if I have kids one day, they'll pull it out of the box and be like, what's this? And try to put it on, and it'll just fall apart. And be like, what did you do to my shoe? And
no!
I'm putting you up for adoption right now. That's it.
Oh.
But yeah. So, I mean, to me, I say wear what you want, and, you know, whatever. If somebody's going to ask you if you're playing basketball, like, even if it's a woman, I'd look down and be like, are you hooking tonight?
Oh, jeez. Although, this coworker, I have to say, she was really, like, involved in what I was bringing. Like, I would bring in a shake, and she'd be like, oh, so you're doing a health kick now? So, I don't know what her deal was. She was very invested.
Mind your business, all right, Nancy?
What I was doing.
Jeez.
And, you know, we're cool now, but at the time I was like, who is this bee? Like I like wearing basketball shoes. Although I would have to say the Air Up-Tempos, those I consider, unless you followed Scottie Pippen in the 90s, nowadays I don't want to get too, you know, highfalutin about my views about shoes and stuff, but that for me it's a work of art. You can just say like the Air Up-Tempos. Okay. Because it just says Air. It says Air on both sides, and people would be like, "Oh, what is that?" Like, for me, if I was removed from basketball culture, from sneaker culture, you're just wearing a shoe that says Air. I'm like, "Oh, wow, what is it? Are you pro Air? Like, are you trying to make a statement?" Like, I don't know. It just feels like nowadays, if you're removed from all that, the Air Up-Tempos would be cool. That coworker said that wears the fear of gods. You know, I always wear my Jordans on like the times I go in my office. And he's like, oh, I don't wear basketball shoes all that much. And I'm like, what are you talking about? These are shoes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
It's not. I mean, it's a basketball shoe if I step on a court and start playing basketball in it. But if I'm just wearing it to work, it's my shoe.
It's my shoe.
Yeah.
And not that I would never. I don't know about you. I would never ball in any of my my collection. Like if I ball, I'm gonna pick some. Shout out to Academy. I'm gonna go pick some $80 shoes and just ball in them because it's asphalt courts or whatever.
I mean, I have some shoes. Like I have like. You remember the pennies that dropped that Jordan actually wore and he cut the one off the back?
Yes.
I have those. I would ball in those just because like I'm not that invested in that shoe. And like it's a decent basketball shoe. It's like I think your comment though is kind of like that age-old adage of like, okay, to a basketball player, like is this a basketball shoe? It's just a shoe to them because they're going to play in it. It's my shoes. I'm not going to say they're basketball shoes. They're my shoes. It's what I wear to work. It's kind of like if I were to cook, Mexican food and I'm Mexican, it's just food.
Food. Oh, very good. I like that.
Like that's just food. It's other outsiders would be like, "Oh, that's Mexican food." It's like
you're like, "Well, I am Mexican.
I'm Mexican, so it's just food to me."
It's a Mexican pizza. Like I don't know,
quesadilla. But yeah, no, I don't know, man. I think shoes, one, they're meant to be worn, and for the purpose of buying them, yes, like. Nowadays, sneaker culture in general is about, more not notoriety anymore. Back in the day, I feel like sneaker culture was notoriety. It's like if you had Jordans,
right?
Oh man,
yeah,
you have Jordans.
You have Jordans.
But now it's just kind of like, I mean, they're like hipsters are into them and they're popular, and it's like, all right, like I think that's my problem is like wearing them. Like I don't like wearing shoes that everybody else has.
Okay.
Like especially like all these re-releases of shoes. It's like you go out and buy them and then every Tom, Dick and Harry has the same shoe and you're kind of like, "Oh, but I really like this shoe," and you just bought it because you're just trying to be hip and trendy.
You just
like I bought this shoe because it was important to me when I was a kid.
Right.
And you're just wearing it because like some rapper wore it.
Which I don't like any of the Travis Scotts. Like I mean,
I'll be honest. I wanted the lows. I really wanted the lows because those. I didn't like the high, but the lows I was like I could rock those.
That's interesting because I would have rocked the highs. Like I don't. Air Jordan 1 lows to me, it's just like, what are you trying to be? No.
Tread lightly.
What are you trying to be?
I like Air Jordan 1 lows. I mean, because an Air Jordan 1 low is just a SB Dunk. It's like without the fat tongue and
right.
It's a little bit narrower and skinnier, but. I just think they're versatile also. I only have actually one pair and they're just white and red and like to me I kind of rock them because they're a little bit like that Marty McFly like colorway. Like that's not the shoe he wore in Back to the Future. He wore a different shoe, but it kind of has that same vibe to it. So that's kind of why I have those.
Okay.
But yeah, like and I mean talking about Marty McFly, I mean we're talking about the mags,
the Air Mags.
Jesus Christ, that was another big jump for sneaker culture and
Well, I mean it was. At the time, again, you watch these movies as a kid, you're like, whatever. But now it's the mag is the holy, like, forget any Air Jordan. It's the holy grail of shoes. And obviously, one, because they're limited. I think when they first re-released, they were going to, to prevent or to promote his charity. And it's one of those things where those shoes transcended sneaker culture. And just became Seth Rogen wore them to an award ceremony. Seth Rogen. Pitchers wear them in the MLB. It's just, I think even like the Air Jordan Concord to a less extent, people just know those and be like, oh, that's like I said, going back to that work of art comment. They're works of art of mobile art. I would call them. And back in the day, when we were little, it was a status symbol. And now that I'm older, I'm like, I'm recapturing my youth, but I'm also trying to make some kind of statement.
Yeah.
And I'm not to the point where you are, where I'm like, I don't care obviously I care what people think, or, I'm working through all that, obviously. But I just
listen to our other podcast where we dive into 80 seconds of deep-rooted emotional issues.
Dadissues.biz. It's coming. But it's, I have a hard time divorcing that aspect of like I'm wearing these shoes because they mean something to me, but also like, oh, what will people think of me? Like I'm wearing basketball shoes in the office.
You know what? Just start carrying a basketball around with you then. And then
Yeah,
when
like-
people say,
yeah.
be like, hell yeah, I'm going to ball.
I'm ready to
after this.
hoop, dude. Like, you know, like D up.
Do the Nike commercial where you just start dribbling like between your legs.
Boop, 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 boop.
No, I mean, I get it. And I mean, honestly, I mean, shoes, people might laugh and snicker at it, but I mean, shoes definitely can be a work of art. Like the mag is a perfect example of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like shout out to Nike because they put a bullseye on their back by saying, oh, this is going to be the shoe that's around in 2014, 15? What was it?
Yeah.
2015?
Something like that.
2015, and then like saying, oh crap, we need to put this shoe out in 2015.
I wish
Although
they
we don't have flying cars, so F that.
or a hoverboard.
Yeah, or a hoverboard. Well,
I wish they
we
would've
do,
told-
but they have wheels on them. Like,
that.
like,
Yeah, that.
but
Listen to our other podcast. This is not a hoverboard.com. No, but I wish for those shoes they would do like a GR. Like, yes, have the mags with the lights and the straps and the power laces, but then just have a GR
that doesn't have any of
that
that.
doesn't light up. That you just have to lace up. Just
Yeah, but
to
see, they
appease people.
they're making like they've made other shoes like in that colorway, like of that mag
Oh, yeah.
color. Like there's actually Mike Trout. I think there's a baseball shoe that
Mhm.
has that colorway.
I think some LeBrons have had that
LeBrons have
colorway.
had that colorway, and then I mean, Nike's trying to make leaps and bounds. Like, the Adapt, the
Hyper
basketball
Adapt.
shoe.
Mhm.
That dropped, and they came out with the mag colorway in that, and that was actually pretty dope. Shout out to Not Sneakers for being
Right.
hard as hell to get anything on. Bot. But
I tried to get those, and
so
because
did
of
I.
Damn bots.
You and me, and I was like, I mean, the price point was pretty hefty, but at least it was lower than the running one, which was like $650,
Right.
and these were $350. But
Still a lot, but you're buying again. It's you're buying them because you want them. It's also for me just like a little bit of like, ooh, like I hate this peacocking culture that we're in, but part of it's that peacocking thing. We're like, well, I have,
yeah,
this self power lacing shoe.
I mean, the leather pants are telling me that right now.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry that
the
you
red leather pants are
Yeah.
like that was a little bit much.
I tried. I'm sorry for you to. Yeah, I tried to hide
You
my
need
chode.
some baby powder to.
No,
Okay,
it'll make
not
a
sweating?
paste.
You're
It'll
okay.
make a paste later.
All right, cool. No, but I mean I get it, and I think yeah, I mean it's just that's the state of where we're at right now in terms of sneaker culture in general. But I know that, so for me, for a while, I went really hot and heavy
Mm-hmm.
on trying to get shoes, and it was basically every Saturday morning,
Jeez.
feeling disappointed, like waking up trying to get online before sneakers came out, like the app.
Right.
You're just trying, and then the website would crash.
Finish line
Would crash. Nike would crash, and you'd be like, I'd be so mad. Supreme
Yeah.
would drop something. I wanted the Supreme Dunks when I was living out in Lubbock. I tried to get those.
Oh snap.
With the elephant print on them, and
Right, right,
that
right.
site crashed, and it was just like all these sites were terrible because their servers sucked, and then sneakers came out, and it was supposed to be like, now you have a legitimate shot because
Right.
there won't be bots, and that's
Now it's all
bull.
bots.
But
Like seriously, sneakers. Like come on. I want to buy Nike or if anyone associated with Nike is listening, eventually, whatever. I want to buy your shoes. Like why? It shouldn't be that hard. I don't understand that. Like you have legitimate customers, and you're not seeing any of that resale money that I know of. Maybe there's a back channel where you're somehow getting some of that resale money.
I mean, you'd have to think like people like Stadium Goods and like
Flight Club.
yeah, like they have to be paying Nike something, right?
But I heard with that whole like Betsy Ross shoe that that Nike's investing again. This is probably all media. I don't know, fake news. I don't know that Nike got upset that some of those shoes came out, so they're looking at what accounts didn't, I guess, return their whole pallets in time, and they're looking to investigate in those accounts and maybe cancel them. I don't know if there's any validity to that. It's all conjecture at this point. But
If listeners aren't aware, the Betsy Ross Air Max 1 that was supposed to come out, but Colin Kaepernick was upset about it.
Right.
And said it was like a history, like slavery, like that flag represented, a bad time for America, so Nike pulled it.
Right. And I think like some, alt-right groups are using it. obviously we're anti-alt-right here.
Oh, we are? Oh, yeah, totally anti.
For this
alt-right.
podcast,
Okay,
we are.
yeah,
but
yeah.
this one,
No,
But
absolutely.
it's like I said, I just want to buy your product. Like it should have. And I'm a Nike Plus member, which I realize is not that hard to become. But come on, throw some.
I'm really angry about that though, because they always send me the update like, "Hey, get this early release of this shoe that's dropping on the Saturday or whatever," and it's always like the one that I don't want. Like,
Right,
it's
it's
not
like-
hard to get anyway. That they made like 7.5 million pairs of, to where it's like, yeah, I'll just buy that when it goes on
Right.
clearance and it's at the Nike outlet.
You want the poop colored Air Jordan
Yeah,
3?
It's like,
No, I don't.
No, I'm good. You know what's crazy to me is like the Tinker 3.
Yes, the black one.
Wouldn't like just a Tinker 3 in general,
Okay.
like completely fell off in terms of like people being all about it. Like it came out, I think it had a lot of notoriety because Justin Timberlake was like, he had the Man of the Woods one, and
Right.
and everybody wanted that one, and they got it. And then the first one that came out, like everybody the white, black, and red, and everybody was kind of like, oh, I want
Well,
that.
I remember dropping during the Super Bowl and catching everyone off guard because I was watching the I think it was obviously the halftime show.
The white, black, and red, like the
I think
the
so.
first
Whatever
release.
the one he was wearing, and it dropped during the halftime show.
Well, they had the one with that was like white, where you couldn't really see the swoosh. It was like white and red, basically.
Right.
The swoosh was white.
Mhm.
That one dropped. That sold out real quick. The white, black, and red sold out too. Didn't sell out as quickly. And I actually have those.
Right.
But then they came out with the one with the Velcro swoosh, where
Right.
you could replace the Velcro swoosh.
Would you have them?
Yeah, and I thought I was like, oh, this is cool, and everything I had been reading seemed like, this is gonna be something people want.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just sat, and I was like, man, I could have just waited and bought this cheaper.
Right.
And then the black ones just came out, and nobody bought those.
Those are gross.
The only reason I like it is
They should not be
because-
called the cements.
Well, I like it because it's kind of like, I mean, you can rock that with Spurs gear. Like, that's a Spurs,
Yeah,
nice Spurs
yeah.
colorway, but I'm going to wait for that to drop in price because they're just going to sit.
Right.
So, but I'm just crazy because, like, everybody was all hot and heavy about it. Tinker was like, yeah, this is what the original design was like. Everybody's like, oh my God.
Those first ones were fire. Like, I like them.
Well, they have the Oregon ones also that were, like, player exclusive. Like, the
Right.
Oregon with the green. And
Mhm.
Oregon gets all the great stuff because Nike
Beaverton.
headquarters anywhere.
Right.
Which, speaking of, I have a great idea for a sneakerhead movie. I won't talk about it on the podcast because I
Okay.
don't want somebody to steal it.
All right.
We should do it. I think we could make it happen.
I love it. Yes.
But yeah. So yeah, it's crazy. Like what things are popular and what aren't. Like it's funny how like the Giannis.
Yeah.
Like the Coming to America, we were both kind of hot on that. Like, oh man, this is gonna be so dope. We're gonna get this, and then we both bought it. And don't get me wrong, I want the shoe.
I wanted it.
I want the shoe so I can care less,
100%.
but it's like they must have just mass produced the crap out of it, or people just genuinely didn't want it.
Well, I think that what obviously we're talking about the Giannis Freak One. I think a lot of people are kind of down on the design. The brothers sat for a lot. No, it wasn't the brothers. Was it the
orange
brothers?
ones, right?
I think
the orange
that's
ones. Is
yeah,
that the brothers?
orange ones.
Oh, is that the brothers?
I think so. And those sat for a good, I think 2-3 weeks, and then they sold out. I think you can attest to this. I was always on that Giannis band, like that.
Oh no, yeah.
When they first dropped that, the initial concept or whatever, like, dude, that backward for me, I don't know what it is.
You're trying to get your Greek citizenship right now, right?
I am.
Because you're that heavy
Yes.
on Giannis. Like,
Yeah, like I
He's all
love
about
feta
the
cheese.
Antetokounmpo, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it's I eat it. Tony's here in town all the time. Greek Cafe right down the street. Shout out if you want to like give me some euros or whatever. But yeah, I like that. Again, it's that peacocking culture. It's a huge backward swoosh. It's like when people see it, like, oh, what's that? And you're like, oh, it's the Freak Ones, it's Giannis or whatever. But yeah, me and you both thought that I was again.
No, I was
we
nervous.
were all like
Yeah.
salty about
Because sneakers has
pre-salty.
been not great, like for the last month and a half of like trying to get releases.
Right.
So I was a little on the fence about it, and then I got it, and I got the whole you're in line, and I was like, oh, okay, good. Like there's plenty, and then like normally you're in line, and then like it'll be like a good 2 or 3 minutes, and you're like sweating.
Right.
But I was in line, and then like 15 seconds later, it's like got him, and I was like, oh, that was easy.
Right.
And then you got them, and then I remember checking like later on in the day. And like Sneakers does that thing where after you've gotten them, because they didn't sell out, they'll let you buy them again.
Right.
So like the price popped back up, and I was like, oh. And then I went and I was like, oh. And none of the sizes were sold out, and I was like, wow. So either nobody wanted this, everybody's sleeping on it.
Right.
Or they just made so many that, you know.
They'll probably sell out in like a week or two. Which, Nike, I wanted the one with the rose petals. Like, I wanted the gold box. I am mad that
it's already been shipped. You're not getting the gold box.
I'm getting mine Tuesday.
If you want, yeah, me too. So, shout out. Twinsies, next podcast.
Yeah.
You know, if you want, I can go buy some rose petals. And
I wear soul protectors. I prep mine. There's a whole process. I'm very OCD about everything, and it goes down to shoes. Obviously, if you can't tell by my speech, like jitters, like I'm very particular. I'm very meticulous. I would never wear those Origin shoes.
Dirty soles mean dirty feet.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I'm like Carrie's mom. Like, no way, Carrie's mom.
I mean, you're probably right about these because, in all honesty, like, if they re-release these, it'll be like in 10 years when we're celebrating the 10th anniversary of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
But they released them when Endgame came out out of nowhere.
Did they? Oh, yeah, they did drop them again.
Shout out to East. I love you, East Bay. Like, come on. Like, East Bay, like, just released them out of nowhere. I remember going to San Antonio to watch Endgame with my friend and them having, like, and I posted on my IG that it was the Into the Spider-Verse. It's some kind of art installation where it had those shoes just glued up somewhere. And
I remember that.
After I stopped crying profusely for them ruining a pair of shoes that I wanted, I come home and I check IG. And they're like, oh, like it dropped and this, that, and the other. Out of nowhere. So I think that's another thing I hate. Hyper strikes or like, you know.
Quick strike?
Well, they have quick strikes. They have hyper strikes.
Yeah.
They have whatever. Just let us know. Like, what? Your app sucks anyways. I'm working through a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I feel it. I'm upset for you right now.
Yeah.
But, no, and I mean, I get it. But, like, for me, you know Spider-Man. And we promise we'll get to comics at some point. We've been talking about kicks for a long time.
Right.
But
after the pee break.
Spider-Man is my superhero. I love Spider-Man. He's my favorite superhero. And then just the movies, comics in general, like, and then when these dropped, I wanted them so bad in sneakers. Mm-hmm. It was an impossible get. Like, I thought it would be easy.
We went to see Into the Spider-Verse the night before.
Yep, went to see Into the Spider-Verse. Thought I was going to get them the next day. Did not get them. Struck out. Was upset. So I did pay resale for these. Thankfully, it wasn't like ridiculous, over the top resale. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it was my birthday, and I was like, I'm treating myself. Treat myself on my birthday. So yeah. I bought them.
Hashtag YOLO.
Hashtag YOLO. Yep. And hopefully, I plan on doing it twice, but we'll see.
Okay.
But yeah, and I mean, I for a long time I was like, ooh, am I ever gonna wear these? But then I was like, no, I bought these because I wanted to wear them. So
I have to be honest. I have so many shoes on ice. Like I
can't do it anymore, man. Like if I buy a shoe, I'm wearing it.
Yeah.
Like one, it's just I for me, I'm okay with spending the money, but then at the same time, it's like I don't want to just buy it and have it sit in a box. And
true.
Plus, you know, my IG followers gotta see what shoes I'm wearing, man. They want to know. You know, not really. They don't.
But they do. Your IG outreach is way better than mine. Like I don't know. I get more outreach from Facebook. You know, shout out to Nana and Elmcroft. But in IG, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm not. You do a lot of hashtags.
I don't. Yeah, well, and that's the thing. If you want other people to see it outside of your just group, you got to do the hashtags. But
okay.
I'm not really. I don't care if other people see it. Like,
true.
I don't even care if the people that actually follow me like care. Like, if you don't, unfollow. Like, just click the button. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. Mm-hmm. Whatever. Facebook, it's just too much work for me.
Right.
The most I can do on Facebook is go in and hit the little thumb to say I like something or make it laugh or I comment. Like, you're the only person I really comment on on Facebook. But you know, it's just I don't know. Facebook just seems like a lot of work to me. Whereas IG is just like, all right, post a picture, write a caption, done.
Yeah,
and move on with my life. And I've been doing more stories lately, but the stories have been boring stuff of like my dog and my house and stuff like that. Because the important stuff I want to last forever. The stories I'm good with going away in 24 hours.
Right, and all those dick pics they're a little excessive.
I mean, like I said, if you don't like the content, unfollow.
Right, and I'm thinking of unfollowing you. You know, here in a bit.
Not gonna hurt my feelings. It's okay, because you know I'll just start being bottomless when you come over for the podcast. So you'll still get to see it.
Yeah, please do. I'm sure Perry would enjoy that. So yeah, I think that's a good place to kind of end our sneaker segment of the podcast. And guess we could take a break here.
Yeah, take a break, re-up on some drinks. I need to get a little bit more drunk. If you want to use the restroom, you know where it's at.
Yes, this
no
corner.
toozy. If you got to take a two, go outside.
Well, I plan on. There's a lot of woods. We're surrounded by woods.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little freaked out.
Absolutely. Go sit in the trees and take a dump.
But again, we're Kicks and Comics. You can follow us on our IG at Kicks and Comics, and just drop us a like, subscribe as soon as we get this uploaded.
Like and subscribe right here.
Right here. East Bay, I love you guys, obviously. Academy, not so much. Just start bringing back quality. And we'll see you guys on our next episode.
All right.
Peace.